It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry News podcast on this Black Friday, November 24th, 2023, coming to you from Bedford County, Virginia. Definitely some improved weather over the last few days. At least it's dried up nicely. A little on the cool side still, but not too awful bad. Headlines for today's show: the lead story, Carnival-owned denies a threat to fire and rehire crew. Also this morning, Royal Caribbean has to quarantine a kitty stowaway. 2 Brightline trains involved in crashes yesterday. Taylor Swift themed cruises. And Mariner of the Seas reaches 20 years in service. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. And of course, today is Black Friday. If you're listening via the podcast, welcome aboard. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. It doesn't matter. Excuse me, frog in my throat. It doesn't matter if you search on TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of them. I'm registered with all of them. So you can always find me that way as well. Anytime you're listening via a podcast and want to hop over to the video feed, there's always a link in the description of the podcast, so you can do just that. And as always, folks, we appreciate having a thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up button. Take this as my invitation to subscribe if you are not subscribed. It doesn't cost you any money, and it helps the channel out a lot, as I'm trying to reach the 5,000 subscription plateau by 1:45 this afternoon. Actually, I'm up to 4750, or 1 or 2 from somewhere in that vicinity. So we keep going up every day. All right, so today, folks, is a special deal from Will Power Chairs and Scoot Around. You can save $500 on an open box Will Model F power chair. Now, the Will Model F is the lighter weight folding chair from Will, more like my old chair was. Of course, I'm now in the Model C2, but they have a $500 off deal on any open box Model F, which is awesome. In addition to that, if there are other items you want site-wide, take 10% off. Just use code 23. And of course, you can always tell them Chillie sent you. They'll know who that is. You can either order online or you can call 844-664-7467. Again, use code 23, or Friday 23, or tell them Chillie sent you. So that's Will Power Chairs and Scooter. All right, guys, the top news story today. Now, before we get to the top news story, I got a bunch of stuff to share with you first. So let's get that out of the way. So let's start off. Hot Air Tom sent a picture from early morning in Miami, as he must have been up, obviously, at dawn. He was sitting there watching ships come in, and, that's at 4 o'clock in the morning or something, so he must not have been sleeping very well. Emily is down in Barcelona today and gets on the World Europa. Now, I'm not for sure if we're going to call it the World Europa, the slang American pronunciation, or if it's going to be the World Europa, which would be more of the Italian pronunciation. Anyway, Emily's getting on it today. Emma is getting on it today. My buddy Kev, we haven't talked to him for a while. Actually, he traveled for over a year and cruised for over a year, and then he took a couple months off and went back home, and now he's back to traveling again, and he's traveling at least for the first part of this with his mother, and they were, I think yesterday they were in Pisa, and the day or two ago they went to the Venetian glass blowing in Venice. So Kevin's traveling with his mother, which is nice. This is maybe the best towel animal that I've seen. I saw that and laughed until my sides hurt. Katie and our girl Katie and Angela. This is Angela again, of course. Another one of those dress. I'm fascinated with how much she has to pack to go on a cruise. And that's their friend. And that's, of course, Miss Katie. And they're all at the same table there. And this was for Thanksgiving dinner. And that's the menu. And they do have turkey, Hot Air Tom. They have turkey on Wonder of the Seas. They have a bunch of other stuff too. But anyway, that's a couple things we wanted to share today before we get around to the top story this morning. And by the way, back to the Will Power Chair. That's the Will Model F open box flash sale. That's today. All right. Now, the top story today comes from Carnival UK. And I have some really some mixed emotions on this one, guys. Two Carnival-owned cruise lines, P&O Cruises and Cunard, are rumored to be considering firing, then rehiring more than 900 UK-based crew due to renegotiation of contract terms, including salary cuts. The two parties, the union employees and the employment firm managing the contracts, seem at odds with what to call the situation. And the end result seems to be unclear. However, P&O Cruises and Cunard have denied any redundancies. In the workplace, a redundancy is a reason for firing an employee that has nothing to do with the employee's performance. And the example they gave was if a poor economy forces a company to downsize, the eliminated positions would be considered redundancies. The difficulty here is that the employee's performances is not in question, but rather the terms of the contract renegotiations, which may include reduced salaries and a change in work contract lengths. If new terms for existing contracts cannot be reached, it may be possible that employees would be fired so they could then be rehired under new contracts with the new terms. I have a little problem with that. P&O Cruises and Cunard, both of which work through a Bermuda-based management company for employee contracts, may be firing as many as 919 maritime professionals in the next few weeks, including a number of ship officers as union negotiations fail to reach a compromise. Carnival UK, which owns both cruise lines, are part of Carnival Corporation, notified authorities of the potential action as union talks have begun. Now, that sounds like Carnival UK actually said this, all right, or threatened this, however you want to look at it. The union, Nautilus International, believes the notification shows a lack of faith for meaningful negotiations. We continue to urge Carnival UK to withdraw their threat of fire and rehire and engage in a meaningful negotiation, says Gary Elliott, Senior National Organizer for Nautilus International. We also call on the UK government to learn the lessons from P&O ferries and outlaw the coercive practice of fire and rehire. Employers cannot be allowed to treat their employees with contempt and force through fundamental changes to terms and conditions by playing with the employees' livelihoods. This could never be done in the United States with any of the unions. It's not possible. But over there in the UK, P&O Ferries actually used this strategy last year. However, they're not affiliated with P&O Cruises or Carnival UK. Carnival UK has denied the tactic, claiming it is not making any redundancies. But apparently, they notified authorities this was a possibility. So, man, I got some real problems with what's the truth behind this story. Many times in labor union disputes, folks, you never get the whole story from either side. It's just like political crap. Nobody tells the truth. And I am really not sure who's the bad guy in this or who's not the bad guy. P&O Cruises and Cunard Line stated there have been media reports which are factually inaccurate and damaging. We are categorically not making any redundancies, and we will not dismiss and re-engage staff. In fact, we have significantly increased our headcount across our fleet. Potentially impacted staff are on both P&O Cruises as well as Cunard Line ships, though the exact numbers and positions of crew members within each fleet who could be affected by these tactics have not been disclosed. So, if you can figure out what's going on with that one, you're a whole lot better than I can, because I'm really not sure who to believe on either side of that labor issue. So, I also didn't know there was a union for cruise workers. We don't have that in this country that I'm aware of. So, I mean, that part was interesting as well. All right, I'll be back with a couple more stories after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, the next story today, folks. I couldn't decide whether to be upset about this one or laugh about this one. Royal Caribbean International's Ovation of the Seas had an unexpected passenger aboard a recent sailing, one that required immediate quarantining, much to the surprise of the ship's crew and local biohazard officers. A cat was discovered on board. A pet cat was found aboard Ovation of the Seas while the ship was sailing a one-way voyage from Honolulu to Sydney. The cat was discovered in a guest's cabin. Though the guest has not been identified, nor have there been any details released of just how the furry traveler was smuggled aboard through security checks. The cat is believed to have originated from Arizona. New Zealand biosecurity agents in Wellington, where Ovation of the Seas had diverted when foul weather meant the ship could not visit Auckland as planned, found the cat during an otherwise routine inspection of the ship. Okay, let's time out on that one, folks. A routine inspection of the ship because they went into a different port. Okay, I understand the routine inspection, but how the hell did they find a cat in somebody's cabin? That's the part that I said, whoa, time out. Let's go back and look at that. These inspections are always carried out when ships enter from foreign destinations to ensure that no invasive or dangerous animals, insects, plants, or other possible environmental hazards could be introduced. What do they hand pick a few cabins? Or are the walls so thin that a meowing cat could be heard as you're walking by in the hall? I don't know. I've not been on Ovation of the Seas. I've been on other ships in the same class, and I would never have eh, been able to tell if there was a cat in somebody's cabin. So after they found the cat then became bonded to the vessel's captain, meaning the captain is officially caring for the animal and ensuring it did not leave the ship without authorization. There, somebody on board authorizes cats leaving cruise ships, I guess. While it remained on the vessel, the cat was kept in a secure area of the ship and was checked by biosecurity inspectors. What did they stay on board so they could go check the cat and make sure it hadn't escaped? I don't know. Once Ovation of the Seas reached Lyttelton, the cat was taken into quarantine to assure it is healthy and not carrying any pests or diseases that could be devastating to local animal populations. The passengers who brought the cat on board are not being prosecuted for violating live animal import regulations. Well, that's probably a good thing. Royal Caribbean International has taken responsibility for the cat's expenses and will pay for transporting the cat back to the U.S. once the quarantine period is complete and the cat is cleared to travel. Most likely, the cat will be returned to the owners, who have undoubtedly learned a great deal about why pets are not permitted on cruise ships. And they're going to be really shocked when they get a bill in the mail for all of this stuff about the cat. Because I promise you, Royal Caribbean's going to bill them for it. This isn't a freebie. Claiming the cat was a serviced animal, that was one of the suggestions made, or that the cat was needed for emotional support. Yeah, when you look into that a little bit further, a service dog is defined as any dog that is individually trained to do work or perform tasks for the benefit of a person with a disability, like a CNI dog, for instance. Service dogs are not considered pets, but it must be clear that an emotional support animal is not legally defined as a service animal, which must be task trained beyond simply providing comfort. Emotional support animals are still considered pets. While cats can be trained as service animals, it's very unusual to do so, as most cats do not have the temperament to reliably perform disability related tasks. cats can make excellent emotional support animals, but they are not classified as service animals with that designation. There's no indication that a cat aboard Ovation of the Seas was considered any type of service animal, therapy animal, or emotional support animal. So, I mean, that was just a suggestion that somebody made, and they are answering back to that. Still don't know how the cat got on board. I mean, you can't very well put that in your pocket and go through the X-ray thingy. I mean, they even in my wheelchair, I mean, I get patted down all over, literally all over. And I mean, they do things like check my oxygen to make sure that it hasn't been around any explosives, check my hands, check my shoes. Uh, you know, that I get a thorough going over. And of course, I got to send everything through security, like my carry bag, my phone, all that stuff, in my billfold, all that stuff goes through security like everybody else's. It's just that I can't go through the whirly thing, and I have to go around, and then I get patted down and wanded and, everything else. So how could somebody get a cat through that? And you can't put a cat in a suitcase. The poor critter would smother. So I'm just, I don't know. I don't know how that all happened. So anyway, all right. Don't forget, guys, the Black Friday MSC sale continues through today. Drinks and Wi-Fi included, up to $500 onboard credit plus kids free. And the New York to Bahamas cruise, that's on the Meraviglia, as low as $269 per person plus tax. 3 nights Bahamas, as low as $109 per person plus tax. That's on the Seascape. 7-night Eastern Caribbean, as low as $349 per person plus tax. That's on the Seascape also. And a 7-day Western Caribbean, that's out of Port Canaveral. That would be on Seashore, as low as $239 per person plus tax. Just call me at the Alaska Travel Desk, 434-258-9264, and I'll be glad to help you out. Okay. The next story, this was Hot Air Tom was close to this one. Now, this is about the time he was going south. Thankfully, this all happened on northbound trains. Brightline trains was involved in 2 crashes Wednesday night. One in which a man was fatally struck in Boynton Beach, and 3 hours later in Jensen Beach, when a woman escaped before her car was struck. The first crash involved a northbound train at 5:30 p.m. at US 1 and Northeast 10th Avenue, Martin Luther King Boulevard, according to Boynton Beach Police. Police are investigating the circumstances of the incident. The train was going northbound and several hours before passengers were able to be picked up. About 8:30 p.m., a Brightline train struck a vehicle at Jensen Beach Boulevard. Martin County Fire and Rescue spokesman Corey Pippin said the driver escaped before the car was struck. Pippin told a TV reporter that a woman in a car on the train tracks was on the train tracks and decided to turn around and got stuck. A woman who was riding behind her jumped out of her car and got the elderly woman out of the way of the train, and then it smashed into her car. The train continued north a short distance after the crash. The road was shut down for eastbound and westbound traffic while investigators cleared the tracks. Brightline operates on tracks run by Florida East Coast Railway from Miami to Orlando, has about 15 daily trips. All right, the next story this morning you might find a little bit disappointing. Some of you might, at least. Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Sea. Still one of my probably 5 favorite cruise ships. I like Navigator a lot. Anyway, Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas will host special Taylor Swift themed cruises in 2024, sailing from Los Angeles. According to a press release from the travel agency organizing the cruises. Inspired by the singer's tour and concert movie, 4 travel agents teamed up with plan a celebration of Swift at sea, calling it a bestie cruise. They noted they are not affiliated with Taylor Swift or TASRM. So this Taylor Swift cruise is not going to have Taylor Swift on it. Okay? You need to watch that kind of thing, folks, because these promoters will make it sound like, they're going to be there. No, they've probably conned the cruise lines into playing Taylor Swift music all the time. It does not mean that Taylor Swift is going to be there or her football playing boyfriend. Neither one of them are going to be on these cruises. The 4-night sailings to Catalina Island and Ensenada, Mexico depart on April 29th and July the 22nd. Sorry to tell you that Taylor Swift's probably not going to be there. It'd be great if she was, but I kind of doubt it. All right, happy birthday to, I don't know if you call it a birthday. Mariner of the Seas has completed 20 years of service. During its tenure, it's had tours to the West Coast, South America, and Asia. Mariner returned to her original home port in Port Canaveral a few years ago and has been offering a series of 4 and 5-night cruises to the Bahamas and the Caribbean. In 2024, the ship is scheduled to return to Galveston for 4 to 7-night itineraries to the Western Caribbean. So, congratulations to Mariner of the Seas, 20 years of service. All right, guys, that's going to end the news portion today. What I found out, I have lots of news sources, folks, that I check with. Man, a bunch of them had no news today because I guess everybody was off yesterday. So they didn't pay attention to what was going on in the world. Either that or wasn't much happening other than the wrecks on Brightline. All right, Hot Air Tom is here, sitting here working on a laptop with a view of Port of Miami. A dark and gloomy day here. Hot Air, if you're up in the middle of the night again tomorrow when the ships come in, try taking, if you would, like a 20 or a 30-second clip of a given a given cruise ship moving toward the port or into the, whatever you can shoot with your little zoomy thingy on your camera. I don't care if it's vertical or horizontal, because if it's horizontal, I'll just pare it down to a vertical, but that would be something I could use on some shorts. So try shooting something, 1 or 2 of those, and then messenger to me. I'll put on there Hot Air Tom photography or something. Just a thought. Nikki's with us down in Jacksonville. Hi, Nikki. She asked Tom if he got his Hot Air Tom got a hot turkey sandwich on the train. He says, nope. The service person makes an announcement To read the menu card at each seat, it had a turkey sandwich and egg salad sandwich, but when asked, she says they are just available early in the day. Joanne's with us. Happy day after. I'm the only one working today in the family. Should have been a teacher, not a nurse. Yeah, well, that happens sometimes. Hot Air Tom says, why read a menu if it's not available? And Joanne says, hope everybody had a good holiday. Had so much trouble with Brightline tickets, my headache for a couple hours. We go to check in my bags, and the agent says the system shows tickets were canceled, but the reservation is good. Well, how can you do that? She lets us in manually and went to fix things, brought new tickets, but with the wrong seats. I wanted seats at the small table to work on just in front of the ADA spot. She redid the seats and then the Ubers booked 3 were all canceled and we had to redo them. System would not allow her to set them up for the December 16th return. Yeah, that's lovely. Robert's with us. Hi, Robert. There's Dennis. Hello, Dennis. Glad you're with us as always. Otter said she added the Ubers, and I thought we were done. Got on the train and checking my text messages, and see the Uber for last night was canceled again. I had so many texts from Uber, I wasn't sure what. Oh dear, Hot Air Tom. Wasn't sure what was going on. I called customer service from the train to get it set up again. It finally worked and the vehicle was at the station at the appointed time, about 25 minutes later than the original time due. A late train. They had GPS trouble. Don't the tracks have to negotiate the need for GPS? I don't know. Robert says, you've helped me more than I can even think, you and others in your profession, Joanne. Yeah, I agree, Robert. Anybody in the medical profession, to me, I hold them on a special pedestal, and Joanne's one of them. They're just aces in my book. I've mentioned a couple times of my sister having some issues now, and we have a couple gals that come in now twice a week to help Amanda with her mother. And they're just wonderful. All the home nurses and nurse health care that I had through all of my, really bad troubles. And as long as I had that damn catheter in, they were regularly in and out of the house for me. And I'm just, they're special people, all of them. I feel that way about all the doctors I deal with too. I have one doctor that I'm not real fond of how he operates his office, but I like him fine. He also is a cruiser, so I mean that helps a little bit. But I'll fuss about his office a lot. Anyway, the old chair is still new. It has not been on enough cruises yet. Oh, the old chair. My old chair has not been on enough cruises yet. Yeah, it's been on some, but that's it's my old chair is not a will. So that's the important thing now is the will power chair. That's my seat model C2. So Nikki says, "Oi, what a mess. I hope the embarkation process goes." Yeah, it would be it'd be tough for Hot Air Tom and Cindy if they get a bumpy embarkation on top of that. The privatization of railways is awful. For this ship name, I would go with the English pronunciation of Europa, since it's World Europa and not Mondo Europa. Roll the R. Europa. I don't roll very loudly, Dennis. There's Jason. I forgot to mention I saw someone driving around a full-grown adult on the front of their scooter. Is that okay behavior on a ship? No, it is not. That is asking for trouble to flip a scooter the bad way. I mean, somebody sitting on the front of the scooter could flip it up over and literally throw both people off. Not good behavior. I wouldn't even put somebody in a wheelchair with me. Somebody sitting on my lap or something. Ain't gonna happen. Hot Air says, I asked the Orlando station customer service agent if they have NCL IT doing their IT work. She said no, but it's awful and they need new IT people. Which cruise are you going on now, Hot Air Tom? Jason wants to know. Dennis says they're trying to use cheap foreign labor on the ferries. Yeah, I understand that, but boy, it's a little bit different set of circumstances when you get into cruise ships. Chillie, do you really have to ask who is the bad guy? Yeah, no, I don't. It's just that I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all which side is being honest, if either are. Jason says, I found a Tampa to San Francisco Panama crossing on Carnival. I might book it. Got to check off Panama. I totally loved going through the Panama Canal. That was a terrific cruise, even though I didn't have my phone. So I've got to go back and do that one all over again one of these days, Jason. But yeah, that's I've seen that cruise as well. All right, Hot Air says NCL Joy to Panama City and then back to Miami, back to back. Chillie, these are ferries, not cruise ships. Well, yeah, for P&O ferries, they are. But now then we're talking about P&O Cruise Line and Cunard. I mean, like the Queen Mary II and Queen Anne, that's who the strike is over. The ferries was last year, they used the same threat during their strike. Hot Air says Conquest is in front of our window today, spewing lots of black smoke. Yuck. Yeah, those older ships, they've always done that. How do you get a cat through security? That's what I want to know. It was probably meowing a lot. Well, maybe. I guess. Emotional support animal. Laugh out loud. They probably smuggled a cat on board, carrying it on them inside their shirt or jacket. But yeah, when they go through the uh, scan, that's going to show, isn't it? I mean, an X-ray. If I had a cat sitting on me and they took an X-ray, the cat's bones are going to show as much as my bones are going to show. So when you get in that circular thing, that's an X-ray. That's what they make sure you don't have a gun or something untoward in your pants or something. I don't know. I'm not sure how it was done. There's Sunny. Sunny says, hi, y'all. She's late. That's okay. That's a turkey hangover, Sonny. What were they thinking? Oh, that's a good question. Dennis says, hi, Sonny. Cindy wants to smuggle Penny on a cruise ship. Well, now, Penny, as a service dog, she weighs more than 50 pounds luggage max. Yeah, but if Penny was trained as a service dog and you could prove that, that might be possible. But Penny's got to, she's got to do something to be given the title of a service dog. The cruise lines are a whole lot more like it really should be. And there are people out there, folks, that have pushed this to the limits as far as emotional. And I realize that many animals are considered, emotional service animals as well. And they do provide that to a certain segment of the disabled community. But cats are not usually trained to provide any support. I mean, because my cats, if you tried to train my cats to do something like that, I mean, they're going to give me a middle finger on their paw. But then that's my cats. Now, my dog, Max the dog, when he was alive, well, yeah, he would have been a good service dog. I could have had him lead me around as long as I'd let him choose what we watched on television. He'd be great at that. Sonny says hi to everybody. Tom, you made me tired reading your posts from traveling. Sheesh, what a day you had. Yeah, I agree. The gene pool in Florida is very weak. Oh, you mean from the IT folks down there? Yeah. Taylor Swift theme cruises are full charters. I don't. That's possible if Taylor Swift is actually going to be on one. I'm not so sure about this one being a full charger. The two on Navigator of the Seas, if those are full charters or not, because they even say that they're not associated with Taylor Swift in any way. So maybe they're trying to call her and say, "Hey, we'll give you a free cruise if you come on." So there's Emily just popping in. Hello, and see you guys Monday. My sister and her hubby and my niece are here. My cousin slept over. I can hear everyone have to take the dog out. Okay. We'll let you do that. Talk to everyone later. Bye and have a good weekend. Okay. Chillie Cruises, the problem is not enough light. It gets very grainy, but I will try. Okay. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's all. Jason says, charge him for that, Tom. He will. They'll charge me for something. Anyway, yeah, if I could, anything like that that's usable, that would be really cool. Because I can do shorts. I mean, I do shorts all the time from cruises when I get a decent shot of a different ship, and I get good views for those. Of course, the one with Icon of the Seas still is the best I've ever had. That was 1.7 million views or something, just insane. Chillie, you can also pause the video and then take a screenshot and post that image. Oh yeah, pause. Yeah, when you're I know that. Reminder that next Friday is December 1st. Saturday is December 2nd. Yeah, Saturday's the day I sail. I'm going to leave here on the 31st. I may do the show early that day instead of 11, like maybe do it at 9 live. And then it'll be posted for folks at 11 that you don't have to come in at 9 o'clock. I've done that before in the past. So on that Thursday, just to give me an extra couple hours, even though I'm not going to kill myself to get to Orangeburg, and it's only like 5.5 hours, but just in case the toe starts bothering me driving, the amount of time in the shoe, okay, that I might just possibly need to stop more. And I want to make sure I get there so it doesn't screw up my travel on to Port Canaveral. And Hot Air Tom, once again, has me hooked up with hotels. Bless his heart. That's always terrific. And goodness knows something that's totally appreciated. All right. So Sunday night, I'm doing a get together with everybody that's going to be on the December 2nd cruise. I'm hosting that cruise. So I'm inviting everybody to come in. We're going to go over the schedules. I've got a prize drawing to announce. I've got a photo contest to announce. So I'll do that Sunday night, and then I'll take the schedule and email it out to everybody in case they weren't there. And then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll be normal. Thursday, possibly an earlier show. Friday is a question mark. Possibly an early show on Friday as well. It depends on, we'll see. So I'm not saying at this point that I'm going to cancel next Friday, which is the 1st, or roll with an early show again. So I'm leaning more in that direction now. Again, depending on how I do Thursday is going to determine what I'm going to have to do on Friday. So, but I easily from Orangeburg could do a show early Friday morning, pack up and get out of there, and go on to drive down to Port Canaveral from Orangeburg. Not a bad drive. So that's in the comments for next week. Let's see. Hot Air Tom came to the rescue of our leader. Said, "Oh yeah, I just said that. Set me up for 2 nights lodging on the trip to Port Canaveral." He did, and I appreciate that. By the way, JetBlue had a wheelchair guy for Cindy in Orlando yesterday. She has her own chair, so I used the chair due to my bad left knee. First wheelchair ride for me. Hot air, if that knee bothers you with walking, man, don't suffer through that. Don't try to walk cruise ships. You don't have to. You can use a chair. You can use a scooter. Dennis says A is in day. Europa. Not Europa. Yeah, I know it's I. Europa. Was I saying it wrong? Sorry about that. I knew it was Europa. I know how to pronounce an E. It sounds like an A. We had 4 people in our premium train car from Orlando to West Palm. Got busy at West Palm Beach, though. Tom, did you book him a room at WDW? No. To be very clear, Carnival is the bad guy. They're playing games. It sounds like it to me too. Thank you for the clarification. Penny Service is drinking the leftover milk in Cindy's cereal bowl. Yeah. You know what? My cats do that too. My cats love it when they're all over me when I eat a bowl of cereal. So they want me to leave some milk in the bowl, and they never drink milk anymore. So most emotional support animals are for young single or young needy single people. Get a boyfriend instead. Yeah, well, Dennis laughing at the milk number. Did I say 31st November? Yeah, it's the 30th of November. Okay, now I know why Dennis has been fussing me on it. I've been saying the 31st. There ain't no 31st, 31 days in November. I know that. Oh my God. I know I just said that too. Thank you, Dennis. I was trying to figure out the other day you said something about the first and the second. I'm thinking, what? Now I understand what you're trying to get through my thick skull. Thank you, Dennis. Oh man. I don't recall November having 31 days. Yeah, I know. Ah, oh well. Someone gonna tell Chillie. Yeah, you did. I appreciate that. Sunday is 03 December. No. Yeah, Sunday's the third day of December. Yeah. I sail on Saturday and that's December 2nd. I know that. My problem was Thursday, the day I'm leaving. And that's the 30th, not the 31st. No. Yeah. The 30th of November. I don't know. I'm confused. I need a bourbon. That's what I need. I got some in there and I never touch it when I'm home. I need to get on a boat and have a cocktail. Ah, what can I say? There's Kenneth. Hi, Kenneth. Good to have you with us, Kenneth. I'm getting picked on now because of my thick head. Hot Air Tom, since it's been a while since we had a show from McDonald's. Yeah, that's the other possibility of doing a McDonald's show on the road. I haven't done that for a while, but it's kind of clumsy for me to do it in the car. And then I don't walk well enough to carry everything inside anymore. And I can't see stopping, getting out, taking my chair down and out and rolling in with all the stuff I need to do the show. So I'd have to do it in the car. Probably better off doing the show early and not going through extra shenanigans. But yeah, it has been a while since I've done a McDonald's show. There's Steve. Hi, Steve. Steve's out in Kentucky. Hi, Dennis. Thank you for putting up the Christmas tree. Yeah, that's great. Dennis says, hi, Steve. All right. All right, guys, I've enjoyed today's show, and I enjoyed you guys giving me hell over the November 31st business. And by the way, again, in case you missed out on it, Hot Air Thomas hooked me up with 2 more hotel rooms, folks. And I mean, that's a hell of a tip, I'll tell you. Wow. So, and especially the Orangeburg, that's the one I love. I mean, the 2 ladies that cook there are just awesome. And I really enjoy Orangeburg. And so the other one is new, so I'll have to break that one in. But it's supposed to be right close to to Port Canaveral there. So we'll see. All right, guys. that's going to wrap me up for the weekend, unless something happens. And, try to go live sometime this weekend. But again, thanks for being with me, guys. Smash that thumbs up button if you haven't already. And please, if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, hit that little subscribe button. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps the channel out a lot. The bell notification will tell you when I go live or when a new video is posted. And that's it for today, guys. And that's it for the weekend, except unless you happen to pop in and see me Sunday night, which would be okay. You don't have to be going on the cruise just to show up if you want to. But anyway, we'll be talking about the cruise schedule and the contests and so forth that we're going to be doing on board. So that'll be Sunday. And then next week, at least the first 3 days are going to be normal. And then I'm probably going to screw everything up from then on. So that's going to wrap it up for the weekend, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. Hopefully one day soon, we'll all get together on the high seas. Even Hot Air Tom and Dennis and Jason and Steve, everybody on a cruise. Man, would that be fun. All right. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see everybody whenever I see you next. Thanks, guys. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.